Well, it turns out the government probably most definitely lied to us again. I know you'll be shocked by this, but we, as of this morning, have significantly more information that could any reasonable person, honestly, could reach the conclusion that Joe Biden was never, not at the end, never fit for office, or even worse, the reason than we thought. First, and I'll get to the cancer diagnosis in a second and whether or not it was deception, incompetence, or a medical error, but the her tapes first are 100% deception. They were leaked over the weekend. A bold-faced lie to the American people. And anyone who dared challenge that and say Biden wasn't fit for office was excoriated by the left.
He's fine. All this right-wing propaganda that his mental acuity has declined is wrong.
Strategic thinker. This is a very sharp president.
I have complete confidence in the president. I have watched him expertly guide meetings.
F you if you can't handle the truth. This version of Biden is the best Biden ever.
And keep in mind, Merrick Garland was under oath when he made that statement, too, so maybe that should be looked at Pam Bondi. And it turns out that, as you and I all knew, Biden wasn't fit at all. I mean, like, I'm going to prove this to you, and I'm going to prove that they were all lying about it. Remember when the White House released the transcripts to the Her interviews and said, oh, that's all, because it showed everything we need to show, right?
For one, the transcripts, as you all know, is already out there. This was taken by determination. The president took the determination at the request of the attorney general, and wanted to make sure the attorney general wanted to make sure that that law enforcement files like these must be protected.
So turns out the transcripts were doctored. Again, now the tape is very different from how the transcripts read. Yes, now the White House did admit at the time to removing some ums and ahs, but it was a lot of ums and ahs and random stories too.
People from the intelligence community would come and get them. I guess that's who came and got them. And if I was, I unfortunately embarrassed the hell out of the leader of Mongolia. I kept all the material in the Corvette because my dad ran a dealership. He was able to give me as a wedding gift for my wife and I because he could afford the payments.
Going from Mongolia to paying the car payments on his, I mean, like, some of these answers went on for like 12 minutes, meandering through all kind of garbage and nonsense. He couldn't even remember when his son died.
What was happening, though, what month did Bo die? May 30th, 2015. Was it 2015 he died?
Maybe 2015.
I think it's 2015.
I'm not sure the months are, but I think that was.
Yeah.
That's right, Mr. President.
Couldn't remember the year. He also couldn't remember when he was vice president.
It was 2013. When did I stop being vice president?
2017.
So I was vice president.
It was 6 hours of this. No wonder they didn't want these tapes out there. And it's not the first time the White House has doctored transcripts to cover them. Remember when they edited the transcript after he called Trump supporters garbage after it got a ton of backlash? Now, Tapper's new book, it's unbelievable. Tapper's new book exposing exactly what Tapper himself was ironically complicit in covering up for 4 years, by the way. Quoting Inside Democrats noting in 2020, when they were trying to get footage of Joe Biden reacting with voters, one of these people said, quote, the videos were horrible, and another top Democrat said he, Biden, couldn't follow the conversation at all. This was in 2020. And when we saw it with our own two eyes, they called it cheap fakes.
They are cheap fakes video. They are done in bad faith. And some of your news organization have been very clear, have stressed that these the right-wing critics of the president have a credibility problem.
Who's got the credibility problem? It turns out you guys were doing the cheap fakes. They brought in Steven Spielberg to cheap up shots of Biden, making him look better, making him look less old and feeble. Videos like the debate challenge.
Donald Trump lost 2 debates to me in 2020. And since then, he hadn't shown up for debate. Now he's acting like he wants to debate me again. Well, make my day, pal. I'll even do it twice. So let's pick the dates, Donald. I hear you're free on Wednesdays.
6 cuts for a 15-second video. I mean, it doesn't look like he got to do it twice because Democrats evicted Biden from the race. But look, pack this one on the fact that aides were talking about putting him in a wheelchair if he won a second term. So obviously they knew, and they lied to us. I mean, it's incredible. Remember when they surrounded him so people couldn't see him walk like the crypt keeper going across the line? I mean, look at him. He walks like a doddering old man. And speaking of his health, this cancer bombshell that came out this weekend is insane. Look, I'm not a doctor, so I'm just going to lay out what I can demonstrate conclusively, and I'll let you decide. Mostly so the left will have absolutely zero way to wiggle out of this. We know that Biden, as of this weekend, was diagnosed with an aggressive prostate cancer that has metastasized to his bones. Fact. So who knew what and when did they know it? Look, I think Biden was a disaster for the country, but I never wish cancer on anyone. Even Donald Trump, who after getting Biden's DOJ sicked on him, still offered sympathetic words today, posting, "Melania and I are saddened to hear about Joe Biden's recent medical diagnosis. We extend our warmest and best wishes to Jill and the family and wish Joe a fast and successful recovery." Now, that said, let's get into who knew what and when they knew it.
He did not develop it in the last 100, 200 days. He had it while he was president. He probably had it at the start of his presidency in 2021.
And to back him up by all available research, well, as doctors know, that it takes as much as 8 years for prostate cancer to metastasize to the bone. So with what we just heard from that doctor on MSNBC and the timeline it takes to affect the bone, I mean, so when did Biden, when he said this, was it a gaffe? Because we were told by the White House and the rest of the media.
It had to put on their windshield wipers to get literally the oil slick off the window. That's why I and so damn many other people I grew up have cancer.
Oh, or was that actually the truth and he just told the world by accident? Also, remember this, when CBS was one of the many who reported on a benign polyp being removed during a routine colonoscopy. Was it benign? Maybe, but also maybe not. And the fact that we don't know and can't trust what we're being told about the health of the guy who held the nuclear codes is really bad and basically confirms everything most America was concerned about. And what makes it even more suspicious is that when America was screaming for Biden's doctors to release information on his health, they were quite selective on what they did release, specifically the PSA test, or lack thereof. That test would have confirmed any prevalence of cancer. Bush, Obama, Trump, they all released this information in their annual physicals, so it was like totally normal. It was irregular not to release this stuff. But as you can see here, they didn't mention his PSA test in 2024. Why? This is like part of a regular blood panel. It's not an individual test that you got to go way out of your way for. But that didn't stop the White House doctor, Kevin O'Connor, in 2024 from telling the American people, in writing, by the way, that Biden was, quote, completely fit for duty. And anyone who challenged any aspect of Biden's mental or physical fitness was a conspiracy theorist and attacked. Look, all these people are either wrong, lying, or willfully ignorant. Those are the only options here. This is why I don't trust Democrats. This is why I don't trust the legacy media, why I don't trust politicians and the government in general. This is why I tell you folks, you are not wasting your time here. Question everything, including me. Back me up, research anything I say. But even after all this, Democrats are still trying to shut this down.
And I think those conversations are going to happen, but they should be more muted and set aside for now as he's struggling through this.
No, I don't think I will be muted, David. Folks, I know Biden is done, gone, and a thing of the past, but the reason this is so important is because Democrats are going to do something like this again. It may not be in regards to medical cover-ups, but they will do it for something else, and you need to know the signs and question it, because when you do, it actually does change things. The calls were so deafening after the first debate between Trump and Biden that they pulled Biden from the presidential race and gave us Kamala, which I think was awesome. So question everything, folks.